Yo, welcome everyone to Blacksburg on the Rocks.
What up? Hi. How are you?
I'm good, Pauls. Well, how's your night going?
It is fantastic. I accomplished multiple. So one of the things working in construction, if you have a rainy day or multiple rainy days, you don't do a whole lot, right?
Uh-huh.
So I accomplished a bunch of stuff at home today. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I got the new medicine cabinet hung up in the bathroom, new lights hung up. It was fantastic. It was a good day for
Sweet.
old Paulie V Wags. However, Jeremy, I have to start the show today by
Uh-huh.
issuing an apology. An
Okay.
apology.
That's
Yeah.
that's interesting. Where's this
So
going?
if you remember last week, we were talking about Kyron Drones and whether or not he had use of the whole playbook so he could audible. Do you recall that conversation?
I recall that conversation.
Okay, you weren't blacked out yet. Good.
No,
So
not yet.
oh, by the way, cheers, my friend. Cheers.
Cheers.
hmm So I said I was talking to someone about that, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I couldn't for the life of me remember who that someone was. It probably was because I was so enamored with the beauty that was Grayson Wimbish on the show with us that
I
I
know
just
it's hard. It's hard
yeah
to really
yeah yeah
tear your
he
eyes away from Grayson.
he is one sexy mf'er, no doubt about
Oh
that.
yeah, he's great.
So I have to issue an apology to my boy Doug Erickson, who was the person I was talking about that with. He got very upset that I did not give him proper credit for being the sounding board or providing me with the show prep, if you will, that he provided me with. So, Doug, I sincerely apologize for not giving you proper credit. Now we can move
Chris
on.
Arnold says that someone was Trey Lyle.
No, it was absolutely not. It was absolutely not Trey. It
It
was
was not
it.
Trey.
It was someone that I trust wholeheartedly with my life, and that person is not Trey Lyle.
Not Trey Lyle. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, no. Chris, I actually moved out of the office because this spare room is much more comfortable. And if I throw my leg up sometimes on the couch here like this, the camera will zoom out and give you all a special shot. I wore extra short shorts tonight, Jeremy, as you can see.
Yes,
Just,
thank you, Paul.
just,
All
just
our viewers, thank you too. Thank you for all of that. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, yeah. This right here is what Hokie fans felt like. What they're looking at right now is what they felt like in the first half of the game on Saturday again, because Tyler
No, that
Bowen.
first quarter was awesome. Like
Well,
we came out and we killed it. If we would have played like
yeah.
the first quarter of the entire game, I would have said we have a complete product.
All right, then the second half, whatever.
Yeah,
I
we
actually
had
missed the
two
first
great
quarter.
quarters, and we had one
Okay.
okay quarter, and we had one bad quarter. I'll
Okay.
take that. That is progress.
By the time I started watching the game, I want to say it was it 10-3 or something like that. I don't remember what the exact score was. I was busy. I was busy doing house projects this weekend.
Shout out, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Yes.
You were busy doing
Yes.
house projects.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
go?
just
Did you go
watching.
to Norfolk? Oh, you stayed home.
No, I didn't. I was at the Optum RX protest in
Oh,
Minnesota, and then I came
yes,
back,
yes.
and then it was pretty much like I'm going to relax. I didn't even
Yeah.
drink that game. Like
Oh.
I was tore up. You got to understand
Okay.
when we go to like these things, we all get together and we like do
Yeah.
these protests, and I do live casts from them. Whenever
Yeah.
we do that, I have to drink for like 3 days straight because
Oh.
it's like I get into town and then I've got Bill's up in DC today. I get in town and I've got a party with people like Bill, and everyone's coming up and they're just like, Lord Doctor, it's time to take shots. Like during my live cast during the protest,
Yeah.
I had Doug Hoey, NCPA's CEO, on,
Mhm.
and I had Mike and Claudia, who have their own shows that were also on there helping, and then
Mike
I also
McDaniel?
had Matt Stoller himself.
Okay.
Matt Stoller, who was on there for those of us who are antitrust nerds, he was on there too, And
Okay. Okay.
while I'm on there, like doing this, and everyone's giving these heartfelt speeches, people just came up to me and just giving me airplane bottles of Jameson to like do a shot
Nice.
with it. It was cool as shit.
Love it. Love
And so
it.
I'd be in the middle of this like speech, and I'd just be knocking them back. It was some good times.
I
And
believe
Bill
that.
here, I got to try Spotted Cow beer for the first time, and it is
Okay.
everything they make it out to be. It is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Wisconsiners, you know what you're talking about.
It's no Blatz beer, but it's all right. It'll work.
Mike McDaniel, closet pharmacist.
That is true. That is accurate. See, Jeremy, I always start out the show with some sort of rant or apology or something like that. But I believe we need to know there was a little tease last week, a little tickle on the underside of the sack, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, you always get your sack tickled.
Get a little tickle. Maybe sometimes it's 2 fingers, sometimes it's just 1. It all depends. But there was a little tickle, and that little tickle was in regards to what is currently on your head. So the top of your head tickled all of our ball sacks, and
yes, it did.
My rumor has it there might be one of those hats waiting for me at the pharmacy unless it made its way onto Griff's gnome.
Yeah, there is a hat waiting for you at the pharmacy. Brian came in. Brian is starting this whole line. It's called Turf Wars. Brian Lobby from down at Hokie House.
Mm-hmm.
He brought us in 2 caps, and I thought they were awesome. The skull and crossbones with a Hokie skull. I thought it was cool as shit. And he is getting it up and going. The website to order them should be up either over the weekend or next week. And I encourage everyone to look into it. They're not available yet. Only special people like me can have them. People that have made Brian rich by, drinking at his establishment for so many
years. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, actually, I ran into Brian last Wednesday because I went in there for one of the subs that they make. By the way, again, if you're missing Substation 2, I'm telling you right now, check out Hokie House Monday through Friday, 11 to 2, I think they're doing it, or 11:30 to 2. They're making Substation 2 style Subway sandwiches, and I'm telling you right now,
everyone should be going to Ho House anyway. They've got no one understands how great their fucking wings are. Those cheerlead garlic wings are amazing. No one gives them enough credit for those wings.
Cajun dry rub, but
one of my places to go to watch a game.
Oh yeah,
always has been. I'd sit there and thank you, Brian, for tolerating me while I was in pharmacy school. I sat there every Sunday from noon until the last game was on, just drinking my face off all fucking day as a poor college student. You all took care of me, and I will appreciate you forever for that. And 100%. Yes, they make hats big enough for Griff's gigantic head and all of his poofed up, terrible hair.
Yeah, that bouffant of hair on top of Griff's head.
Bouffant of hair. For those who don't know, my technician is also my cousin, Griffin, and he has a habit of asking for interesting haircuts that don't turn out well. And right now he has a full-on like bouffant thing, and it is miserable to look at. It is miserable to look at.
For those of us that only have to look at it a little bit at a time, it's epic, though.
I have to look at it every day.
I know.
But I also get to tease him about it every day, so I'll take
that. That is accurate. That is very accurate. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts after Saturday? Is it getting better?
I think it's getting better. I mean, beforehand, we could only put together 2 good quarters in the second half. Before this, we had maybe 1 game of football that was worth even mentioning. And this week, what was so great was we came out and we did exactly what I told you we should do. We immediately came out and we started taking the top off the defense. And as soon as we do that, and they've got to respect the pass, it opens up the entire run game. So we were all over them. They made some adjustments in the second quarter and things like tightened up a little bit. But then we came out and made our halftime adjustments, which have been very good so far. And we ran wild the second half, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic.
And here's why optimistic.
Here's why I say I'm cautiously optimistic, because it's ODU. And yes, I understand that we have had our issues playing ODU in the past, blah, 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 yada, yada, all that shit. But it's still at the end of the day ODU. And although we took care of business and we looked decent doing it. It still, to me, didn't feel like enough, if that makes sense. As a Michigan fan, Michigan didn't do great things either this past week. But, you say a win's a win, get out of there and move on. Well, this week, I think it becomes moderately more difficult because even if Rutgers isn't great, and I haven't even looked, I got to pull up Rutgers here on to see what they're even at. Do they?
Look good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm afraid they're going to push us around. Like our defensive line looked really good last week. They can be great. I'm afraid that Rutgers may just push us around.
Okay.
Because they're a good team. They've been getting it. They've been rebuilding that program. They've been doing great, and it's tough.
Yeah. Rutgers is, I think, going to be like Rutgers is starting to turn themselves into the prototypical Big Ten school, right? Like, they want to come out, they want to punch you in the mouth, they want to try to run the ball down your throat, and they're just going to challenge you to stop them. And every now and again, they'll take a shot. They might have a quarterback that's pretty mobile, who can cause problems for you also. But I think all in all, it's going to be a war of attrition, this game. And we'll get to that later, but I kind of digressed a little bit. I still think that what Virginia Tech did against ODU was good. It wasn't great. And that scares me moving forward through the rest of the season because I don't think good is good enough, if that makes sense.
It's not good enough. Like, that's the thing is, it's really not good enough in a lot of ways. We have to come out and we absolutely have to nail it. And we have to nail it against Rutgers. We definitely have to do it against Miami because the wheels haven't fallen off Miami this year. And I don't know if Florida, that state, can have that many wheels fall off at this point, if that makes sense.
It does.
It's like, what are we supposed to do here?
Yeah. Now, Brown, their running back, and Surance, their quarterback, have undisclosed injuries. Surance was out on last Saturday. So I don't think they're running with their number one running back and their number one quarterback. Again, I don't know a lot about Rutgers. But for the Hokies, Ollie Jennings is also questionable, which is not a good thing. So he's got a knee injury. An undisclosed knee injury, I believe is what it is.
Yeah, an undisclosed knee injury.
Undisclosed knee injury.
Yeah, we're banged up, and that's what Price said, was we've got quite a few people that are banged up right now. So it is a bit of an issue, but it's something that we're going to have to deal with. That's what teams have to deal with, and we're definitely going to have to deal with it because we're not very deep. Like, we're a few injuries away to it being really rough.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could say that about a lot of programs, but I think with Virginia Tech, the margin of error and the margin for injury go hand in hand, right? Like, you can't, if you're Virginia Tech, you can't turn the ball over 3 times in most games and overcome that. You can't have a guy like Ollie Jennings or Bashal Tootin or Kyron Drones or, anybody on the offensive line, even though the offensive line is not great. Those 5 guys are the best we got. So the drop-off is going to be terrible. Like, so I don't know that right now, if you're the Hokies, like, you kind of just got to find a way to keep this thing going until you hit your stride, which they did last year at game 6, was it, that they finally decided to play football?
That's what we do. Sometimes it's a little, and I tell this to people a lot. Sometimes offenses, especially, it takes them a little time to click more as the season goes throughout. So I knew we'd eventually get to where, we're kind of running that. Defense, though, they have been showing up. They've kept us in ball games that, we may have just folded, but it's something that we've got to keep in mind. I'm at the point where I want to see not just our offense show up in a big way right out the gate. I'd also like to see our defense come through and not have quarters like that second quarter, because we should have been dominating them the entire time.
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Chris, you're right. You need to get Tootin moving. You need to get him rolling.
Yep.
You need to get that offensive line going, right? Like, I know I complain about the whole running the ball. I like the fact that they take the top off. I like that. I think that's a good thing. But I do agree. You got to get Tootin rolling, but just maybe not 3 straight runs. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it can't be something where every team looks at Virginia Tech and goes, okay, first 2 series, we'll just pack the box with 9 and we'll make them beat it. If they're going to do something like that, great. Then you got to be able to beat them. Like, somebody's got to be able to run a deep freaking post and win against the DB.
Dude, I straight up, like, every time I see us like throw anything horizontally, or not go forward, it's just cringe. Just internally, it is rough for me.
Yeah, it is, because it's not working. It doesn't work.
No,
we don't.
It doesn't work at all.
We've got good athletes. We don't have break tackles, miss tackles athletes, right? Like, we don't have guys back there. Like, Ollie Jennings is a hell of a wide receiver, but Ollie Jennings is not breaking or making guys miss tackles on tunnel screens and stuff like that. It's just not happening. So I can see it. You can see it. I have to imagine that at some point Tyler Bowen should be able to see it.
I mean,
maybe
you
not.
Think so? I don't know. I think he's getting it. I think it's a lot of what we talked about with Grayson last week.
Yeah.
We might be trying to get too cute, and I think a lot of times he outthinks himself, especially when he's setting up plays for later. But that doesn't work if your drives aren't working. You're not really setting much of anything up. So I think that's a lot of the issues with that. I was just happy to see us come out and give me a quarter to where I could relax a little bit and not be at the edge of my seat. Bill, I can tell you that Paul here absolutely loves Notre Dame.
I do
absolutely
not.
Loves them.
I do not. I do not. Like, if I make a list of 3 teams that I hate, like, going off my Michigan fandom, right? Not off my Virginia Tech fandom, off my Michigan fandom. Yeah. If I make a list of 3 teams I hate in this order, at number 3, it's Notre Dame. At number 2, it's Ohio. And at number 1, it's Michigan State. Or, as I like to call them, East Lansing Community College.
Is Michigan State really that bad? Like, you hate on them that much?
So here's the problem. And as someone that's been a fan of Michigan for 40 some years, I have friends that are Michigan State fans. Doug Erickson is one of them. And what ends up happening is Michigan had that down period of time, right? Where they had hired Rich Rodriguez. He ran the program. He Justin Fuente the program into the ground. And then they brought in, now they didn't turn it around with the first hire. It took them like 3 or 4. Like, they brought in, Brady Hoke. They brought in somebody else at one point, and then they brought in Jim Harbaugh. And it took a little while to come back from that, right? Like, there was a period of probably about 15 years in there where Michigan football was not good, right? They weren't UVA bad, but they weren't good. And so the Michigan State fans out there are like, in 9 of the last 15 seasons, we beat Michigan. Motherfucker, let's look at history, right? Michigan is like 82-17 against you clowns. Like, I'm exaggerating a lot, but it's very lopsided, right? It's like Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has got a huge, like, Virginia Tech would have to go in the shitter for a decade plus in order for UVA to even make this series respectable. Same thing with Michigan State. But these Michigan State clowns are like, between 1999 and 2021, we beat you 9 out of 15 times. We were the dominant school. No, clown. You hit us at a low point. Like, get the hell out of here with that shit. It's terrible. And that's what they hang their hat. At least at least Notre Dame and Ohio State I can respect because they're good programs and they're competitive pretty much all the time. Now, Notre Dame tends to be overrated because they're Notre Dame, but like I hate Ohio State, but I respect Ohio State. Yeah. If East Lansing, Michigan was on fire and I had a full bladder, I would go to the sheets in Ypsilanti and take a piss. And if you don't know where Ypsilanti, Michigan is, Google it. Good luck learning how to spell it.
Well, that was quite a speech.
That's all I
understand, like, if you hate them that bad, but I mean, I've met some of their fans. They're not that bad.
Certain Wayne, fuck you, Wayne. I love you, man. Certain fans aren't.
Old lady on the porch, typical Michigan fan.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing. You want to hear the real funny thing? If you compare Michigan and Michigan State and Virginia Tech and Virginia, Michigan is more similar to Virginia, and Michigan State and Virginia Tech are more similar. Like, in theory, if you held true to like kind of what makes a Michigan fan, I really should be a UVA fan. The pomp, the pomp, the arrogance, our degree is better than your degree. Like, all of that shit is stuff Michigan fans say to Michigan State fans. It's very similar, but because I landed here, I am a Hokie fan now. So that's kind of how that worked. But it is a very interesting dynamic, the way the two programs are very parallel in Michigan and Virginia running, parallel with kind of the way they act, talk, carry themselves. And then, Virginia Tech, Michigan State, ag schools.
Latest assholes is what I'm hearing. You're making me like Michigan State a whole lot more.
Well, that's fine. You can like Michigan State if you want. I mean, that's fine. Did you see what I bought? Bro,
Bill sent me this picture.
What is that? Who is that? You?
No, that's Bill.
What? Why did he send you that picture?
Because Bill's plugged in with the Huskies.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it.
He sent me this. Check his WhatsApp. Bill's cool as shit, yo.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
All right. I'm just going to have to say it. Chris Arnold wants me to talk about Michigan State fans versus Kentucky fans.
Oh.
I will gladly do that.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you straight up. There's no way Michigan State fans are worse than Kentucky fans. Kentucky fans suck, Paul.
So do Michigan State fans. Here's the funny. You want to hear something really funny? Evan Hughes, his mom is a Michigan State alum.
Really?
Yes. Lynn, Evan, the whole family. She has one brother that went to Michigan, and he's ostracized from the family, basically. But the whole family is Michigan State fans. So Lynn and I, there are certain Michigan State fans that I love to death, right? Like Doug Erickson is one of them. Lynn is one of them. Evan is one of them.
What's that?
It is funny though that there are Michigan State fans who are awesome human beings. There are also Michigan State fans that's Bill's
son, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't give you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The kid in the middle is Bill's son.
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering. I'm like, okay, who's the football player? All right.
And he's even bigger than Bill, and I've met Bill. And Bill's not a small man.
Okay. If you got drunk enough, would you fight Bill?
Story.
If you got drunk enough, would you fight Bill?
No, I'm not a fighter, Paul. I get drunk and I love.
You do love. Yeah.
It was very fight in me when I'm drinking.
It was very awkward at Maroon Door.
Giant corporations. I don't fight.
That is true.
People.
It was very awkward at Maroon Door when you kept asking me to sit on your lap.
You said what?
It was very awkward at Maroon Door 2 weeks ago when you asked me to sit on your lap.
Yeah, good.
But I did it.
You should have. Man, people would have talked forever. Would have been legends.
Oh yeah. We are legends already. We are legends. Indeed. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so my run-in with Kentucky people was the Belk Bowl. And I was more unimpressed by the way Oh, Jeremy absolutely is a happy drunk. He really is. He really is. He does get a little philosophical from time to time.
That's who I am, Paul.
And gets a little deep on you, but other than that, no, yeah, he's a very fun-loving drunk.
I'm a thinker.
My only real run-in, like I said, was with the Kentucky people, was at the Belk Bowl. And it was I was a little bit put off by the fact that they were trying to make excuses for the pregame brouhaha that took place.
When their quarterback took a swing at us. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I was a little bit put off by that. But other than that, I've never really had an interaction with any Kentucky fans. You know, a group of people I do love, and you might actually kick me out of here for saying this. I really love West Virginia fans.
No, I understand it. The new age West Virginia fans, they're not nearly as bad as they used to be. Honestly, I wish we'd play West Virginia more so I could hate them more. But the fans who came up and played with us whenever we played West Virginia recently, they were a blast. I had fun with them. You know?
The only issue that I had with them was they kept playing Rocky Top on the Hokie House jukebox, and I kept trying to explain to them that was a song about Southwest Virginia, not about West Virginia. And I don't know, they were their cousins and their husbands, which were all the same people, all got together and tried to gang up on me. And I just said, "Listen here, Four Teeth, just go sit down. We're fine. I'm not mad at you. Also, will you please take Rich Rodriguez back?" And then they laughed at me.
Bill, it is true. Bill has only really known me, especially in a personal setting, a little bit. That is one of my go-tos, is eating someone's throat.
That is true.
Yes. Also, just in general, I had to be moved from the West stands, which are the nicer stands, over to the East stands. I moved myself because the West stands are full of old people who don't like it when you shout certain things at the refs.
When you call the referees the C word and tell them that you're going to hate F them in the B-hole, that tends to get people a little bit riled up.
Listen, I gotta be me.
That is true. That is fair.
You know,
I have to do something. This might be weird.
If I SMIC, I'll murder your family. I'm gonna drop that at Mr.
That's fair.
Official. Because Mr. Official's not all that great at his job.
No, most of the time he's not. Most of the time he's not.
No. We won't go into now that I've lightened it all up, and now I say very, passive-aggressive things.
That is true. About mothers overcooking salmon at PTA meetings.
Yes. I heard from the last PTA meeting that your mother overcooked the salmon. That explains a lot about your officiating. Yes, that's what I have to say now.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I'm a sweet, innocent Jeremy, Paul.
I love it. You are. That is true. Oh, yeah. See, this is better. Now I can actually look at the quotes and the questions and not, my finger doesn't get in the way of the camera.
Did you finally fix your app so that you can look at things?
No, it still tells me that, I don't know. I have a theory, and I think I'll share that with you later. I think we need to switch my profile to my work email, because I do this on my work iPad, and I think that might be why it's getting confused.
Yeah, Chris.
I never have.
There's a big difference between West Virginia fans back in the day and West Virginia fans now.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
Yeah, no, he's right, and I never have. I have heard horror stories about it. People talking about how, like, they would go up to the police and be like, "Yo,"
yes, he meant country roads, Chris. He misspoke.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I apologize. Yes, I meant country roads. Sorry, not Rocky Top. And people would go up to the police and say something and be like, "Yo, those idiots right there, that group are throwing batteries." And the cops would just look at them and go, "You're in the wrong town." Yeah. And it's like, damn, okay. I can't imagine Blacksburg PD or VTPD doing that. But again, they have more teeth. They can actually eat their corn on the cob. They don't just have to cut it off of there so that they can gum it.
You're going to get in trouble, Paul. You're going to get us in trouble again.
So what?
What was it? The old South Park episodes where they'd have, like, the announcers?
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
You're going to get us in trouble again.
You're going to get us in trouble again. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let me give you, okay, here you go. I'm going to give you all a really good tip. If you're concerned about cancel culture and people canceling you, here's the best way to overcome that. Don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You can cancel me all you want. You know what? I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So there you go.
I don't think he was going to cancel you over that one. That's a
six tooth cousin loving, battery throwing, wrong song singing, goofy state that looks like a middle finger. It does. I don't know if you realize that. That's how they will show you where they're from in West Virginia. They'll flip you off and then point to. It's like the Michigan thing, right? Like I grew up here in Michigan. You all are getting
the best analysis on this show.
They do this and they're like, I grew up right here. Listen, it's the truth.
Excellent. I've got to fix your thing so you can help me keep up with like all the comments and stuff.
I know. We can switch gears anytime you want. You get me down these rabbit holes.
Dude, that's why people tune into us for rabbit holes. Like,
I know.
They don't want full analysis. If they want that, they're going to go to like somebody else. Like
Chris,
ain't Chris Coleman.
Chris, we absolutely can cancel that tree. I have offered. Jay Tucker has offered, we will pull that tree down and just leave it in the middle of the street. Some dude tried to run. So we hired a hitman. He just drove over the wrong thing. We even had that all figured out. We paid this guy $100 and we're like, just drive into that tree. He missed it by half a block.
Missed that fucking tree by about 20 feet. Took out the gate instead.
Yeah.
Goddamn close.
Yeah. I thought it was money well spent. Jay Tucker warned me not to do it. I said, just give me half. We took care of that. And we did at the same time. Sorry, Jeremy.
Paul sounds like the uncle we all drink because of at Thanksgiving. But Clinch, not knowing what is going to come out next. Thank you.
Emery, 100. Yeah, Emery, 100%. You are 100% correct. I am that guy.
Thank you, Mommy.
Yes. It would have been a teeth brush.
Also invented the toothbrush. Anywhere else, they would have called it a teeth brush.
That is true.
All this hatred of the West Virginia
and
folk.
Wayne, to tell you the answer to your question, the state flower is a satellite dish.
Oh. So you can see them now. You can see these things. You can't click them, though.
I can see them, yeah. Like if I click more at the bottom and this, I can see them. I can't do anything with it. They're there. Weird. Yeah. And I can see everyone.
I can run the TikTok, which we got a lot of TikTok viewers, but I'm
TikTokers
still figuring out our camera situation on there.
I don't know anything about ticking or talking, so I don't do that. The most I do is Snapchat. I Snapchat.
Snapchat?
Yeah.
People still have that?
Yeah. Did you see what I bought today? Well, I didn't buy it today. Did you see what got delivered today at my house? I posted it on Facebook.
I don't know. What did you get delivered, Paul? Please take us down this rabbit hole, please. Tell me about what you got delivered.
It is a giant Michigan inflatable pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I had that blown up in our living room. Bridget came down from getting ready this morning, and she looked at it and she goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ." It's huge. Like you see how big it is, like in comparison to our fireplace and our couch. It's huge. It's going in our front yard later this week. Oh, that's the best $110 I've ever spent. And I spent a lot of good money. I spent $120 once on a cake for Jeremy.
Yeah, he did. And I immediately killed it. He brought in this fucking cake. He's like, "Happy birthday." And I'm like, "Paul, you didn't have to do all that. I need to quit thinking Paul's got me a thoughtful fucking gift. Because everything he gets me has like Matt Ryan plaster all fucking over it." And then I proceed to just I take the plastic knife and start stabbing this giant expensive cake that Paul got me. It breaks, it cuts my hand. I bleed all over the cake while I'm doing it. Then I take out handfuls of the cake and everyone takes a bite. And it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I probably cursed Virginia Tech football for another 5 years doing that.
Oh my God, that was fantastic.
It was good. He live casted it.
I still think though that the best one, and you actually have this, you actually treasure this. I don't know why it hasn't gone up somewhere yet, is the Matt Ryan dartboard.
Yes, I have it actually right here over behind me. Well, back in the cathedral.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get that up and start throwing darts at that thing.
Yeah,
I broke
yeah.
so
I
many
do need
copyright.
to. Marnie, whenever he visits, he brings a dartboard just because he's got that good at darts, and that's like his thing now.
Marnie, you
So
don't
I
need to
need to
bring a
get good
dartboard.
at
Play with the Matt
darts.
Ryan
So
one. Yeah.
yeah, so I need to start getting good at darts. But it's also one of those things where I don't want to put a bunch of holes in it because it was such a good gift.
Well, the
Does
fact
that
though
make
that you would,
sense?
it does. So for those that aren't following, what I did was I found a picture of Matt Ryan from his Boston college days, and he's getting ready to throw a football, right? And it's a really good like live action picture of him. And I found some company somewhere that was like, copyright be damned, we don't care. We will put this on a dartboard for you for the low price of like $180. Andrew
We care
Nathan,
not.
no, Andrew Nathan, myself, and Jeremy's sister-in-law Olivia all went in. I think we all pitched in like, I don't know, $20 or something like that, and I covered the difference. And we gave it to Jeremy as was it a birthday or a Christmas present that we gave that to you for?
That was a birthday. You would get me a
Okay.
lot of things, and it would
All right.
it would always
None
end
of
up
them are
being,
worth a shit, but I get a kick out of it.
I think they're amazing, Paul.
I
You don't give
appreciate
yourself
that.
enough credit. Sorry, I'm fixing our
appreciate that.
TikTok feed currently.
Oh.
I finally figured out how to do it. Like, I've got to do a weird camera capture thing. It's a whole thing, Paul.
Wayne, there are no dog or cat eating things going on in Michigan that I am aware of. But I got to tune into all of the different news sites to see if there's anything new happening in that front. I don't know. Sure.
Yeah, that's a fun one. So, Paul.
Yes. Are we digressing off the politics stuff already?
Yes, we are digressing off the politics stuff already.
All right.
As much as I'd love to dive in. That's the thing is like, I will talk politics with anyone, including online, including wherever, because I don't consider politics super divisive just because I studied it. Like, this, to me, it's just like intellectual type things.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get worked up sometimes, but it's more of a thing where I think people need to talk about these things more. But I'm not about to dive into presidential election politics right now.
I think Richard Pryor was onto something back. What was the movie? It was him and John Candy, Brewster's Millions, where he ran the political campaign to vote for anyone else. I think we need that. We need that campaign to come out. Counts Van Wagner 2024. How about that?
Well, they have that. They have that. It is Jill Stein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'll have to check out Jill Stein.
Yeah.
I'm not enamored with any of the candidates at this point. I may actually leave the presidential thing blank on my ballot. I'm just saying.
I've done write-ins before. That's the thing. It's like, it's weird because people from each party a lot of times come at me as if I'm like one side or the other, and I never have been. My entire ticket is always littered with a bunch of different people because I'm a topic voter. Like, I'm an independent topic voter. That's just how I do things. I've always been that way. And it's pretty interesting because I'll get attacked by a bunch of different sides, and dude, I literally voted for like the person that you're saying I'm against. Like, it happens.
Yeah,
but that's what happens when you're a super intellectual, wonderful person like I am, and you have very nuanced views on
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. Emory wants us to go back to talking about the Hokies. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, Emily's afraid I'll get in trouble again.
Chris, I don't know. You have to ask Jeremy. Where are we at with Karen Karenson?
I used to be more libertarian. Don't get me wrong. I like a lot of views there. The Libertarian Party kind of went super corpo. Yes. Very corpo. The past few years, instead of talking about an actual free market, the actual Libertarian Party was their version of a free market is, hey, we're actually going to call it a free market when really it is monopolization of the entire economy. And we're going to say that it's synergy, and we're going to say that it is economies of scale, but really it's just fucking normal people. I'm not a person who gives a shit about political parties. I give a shit about people. I'm a populist. That's what I fucking care about. So, yeah, the Libertarian Party kind of left me behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's stirring the pot.
Just stirring the pot, baby. Just stirring
the pot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. To answer, hold on here now, because I got a couple of comments here I have to address. Wayne, I have never, nor will I ever hang out with P. Diddy. I can tell you that for sure.
I know he has. I can attest
yeah.
to Paul having more lubes than P. Diddy even had.
I
don't know if you read the news report, Paul, but P. Diddy had thousands of lubes around his mansions.
Lubes? Like, are you talking about like lubes. Astroglide?
Lubricants and oils.
Okay.
Oils.
Okay.
Oils. I say it with my country accent. Oils.
Yeah, oils.
I got my oils from the Rural Jerk Brewery.
All right. All right. Chris, I still am on the fence about voting for Karen Karenson. And Wayne, CVS does care, just not about us.
Emily is upset we're talking politics, and she's bringing a hungry toddler down there to scream at the mic and say, okay, well, I will stop with the politics.
Wait, why does it say Emery, and you keep saying it's Emily?
Yeah, I mean, Emery says that, because I would be worried if someone named Emery were in my house, Paul, with my toddler. I'm going to very much assume it's the profile I made her on the YouTube as a joke. And not her.
Well, damn, this whole time I thought Emery was actually a person. I mean, it is a person, but I thought it was a different gender of person.
Did you just say she's not a person?
No, she's a different gender of person.
You know what Paul said?
Emily is a national treasure, and I stand by that comment.
Yeah, Chris, Screaming Toddler would spice up the podcast.
That is true.
More than politics.
That is true. That is very true. That is accurate. Yeah. That's probably not what we need right now is a screaming toddler. So, okay. So Rutgers, again, I don't know hold on. Let me pull up Rutgers stat lines here. Let me just kind of see. I'm making assumptions about the Scarlet Knights. Now, here's a fun fact I found out. As you all know, my fiance Bridget, she is a lovely, wonderful, amazing human being. She is from New Jersey. And I always thought that Rutgers was from Piscataway, New Jersey. They are not, in fact, from Piscataway, New Jersey. That's just where the football stadium is. The whole rest of the college is in another town. It's very weird. It's actually in like 4 different towns, I believe. Anyway.
4 different towns.
4 different towns. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would ask her to come up here, but she doesn't like to be on the podcast. So they do tend to run the board.
She loves to be on the podcast, Paul.
She does. No. So they average almost 500 yards a game. Now, that being said, they played against Howard and Akron so far. So take that for what it's worth, right? They played against a team named after the guy that was the Dr. Johnny Fever on WKRP in Cincinnati, Howard Hessman, RIP. And then they played against Akron. The only good thing to come out of Akron were tires, not LeBron James. So there.
Thank you for that insight.
You're very welcome. They average almost 500 yards a game. 188 of that is in the air. 307 is on the ground. Now, they have scored 46.5 points a game. However, Akron-Howard. They converted almost 60% of their third downs. Their defense has only given up about 300 yards per game. And they're giving up a little bit more on the ground than they are in the air, 133 to 150. And they've only given up 12 points this season. So, again,
this is my favorite part of the show.
Howard.
Whenever P-Pop Paul starts with his glasses on and starts holding the thing up to the camera.
I'm telling you the stats here. So the bottom line is this: Rutgers hasn't played anyone, right? Like,
yes,
they've played ODU twice, is basically what they did, and they won both games decisively, which they should as a Big Ten program.
And we should have won our games decisively too, Paul, and we lost one.
Well, you got to remember though, Vanderbilt. Like, okay, say what you will about Vanderbilt, but that is still an SEC Power 5 program
this week, and it was a terrible loss. I was sitting around thinking, hey, maybe fucking Paul is, or maybe we're just like fucking around, and Vanderbilt's really good in the end because they actually have been recruiting pretty well. And maybe they'll go on, they're going to surprise people. And I think they might. I really think they might. But they ended up losing to like a shitty school this week. So it's not looking like it's going to be that way. It's looking like, we're, that's a bad loss.
They did lose to Georgia State. Yeah.
Yes, Paul. Yes. Yeah. So it's not all that simple.
Georgia State
I was kind of holding out for that too, but and then it's like, oh.
Currently 2-1, 5th in the Sun Belt East. Yeah. But again, I still say
that's like Florida State shit.
I still say though they are a Power 5 school in the SEC. Should we have lost to them? No, but we did. So, and we can't go back. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. We can't go back. It is what it is.
Oh God, I wish Drew were watching that. His fucking brother says that all the time.
It's true. So now you have to move on.
Also, Marty, yes, we do already have 2 screaming toddlers on this show.
That is true.
Simple people.
You guys want to see how short my shorts are today?
God damn it, Paul. You and the shorts. Fucking always. Now, I'm going to get you a fucking tripod to bring your fucking camera up or something. Oh, my God. I'm gonna have
if you get me a tripod, I'm gonna have the tripod way up here pointing down, and then I'm just gonna sit like this.
My green screen's fucked because of things going on. Also, Paul,
what?
You remember this?
Yes, Katie and Isaac.
Isaac. Paul found this koozie out of fucking nowhere at the game, at our opening game. It's Katie and Isaac. 10-3-20. I will cherish this forever. Whoever you are, Katie and Isaac, I hope someone finds them so that I can thank them. I got shit-faced with
Read the back. Read the back to the people. This is the most Southwest Virginia thing ever.
Left the farm and cows so we could say our wedding vows. Thank you. Thank you, Katie and Isaac, for this. You made that entire game for me. We came out and it was a blast. I went down... Paul had given me this. I went down, or no, you found it at halftime, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went down and got in the beer line, and she dropped it.
Looking for Chris Coleman because I can normally find Chris Coleman behind the bleachers smoking like it's high school. And I normally like to go find Chris Coleman at halftime, and I couldn't find him. And I went down and just chatted up some people, and I come back, and here comes Paul. He's like, I got you a koozie, Jeremy. And it's fucking Katie and Isaac's wedding koozie. Here's the thing. Katie and Isaac, I will cherish this forever. But if you lost like the only wedding koozie you have from your wedding or something, hit me up. I'll give it back to you. Maybe I'll think about it. But I cherish this now. And I don't even use koozies, but I cherish it because that was a special moment for me.
So this girl goes walking by and she drops it. And the guy in front of me and I are like, hey, you dropped your koozie. And we're like hollering at her. And she's just oblivious. She just keeps right on walking. And he looks at me and goes, I ain't ashamed that I picked it up. And I was like, oh, because it was Hokie colors. So I'm like, oh, this might be something cool. And I was like, oh, okay.
And so I just, drank and had my hands all over this thing on the ground all game, because I'm Jeremy.
Yeah.
And because Paul gives me gifts that are always laced with something. Usually scorn.
Why is everybody hating on me right now for the way I'm sitting? Like
again.
Again. There you go. There. I could also, if you want me to, I can throw my feet up. This is the beautiful part about this being on video. This is the shit I used to do on the radio.
Why are you doing this to any of us? Why are you doing this? Also, what's wrong with your legs?
What do you mean, what's wrong with my legs? I just got them out here like this.
They look like discolored. I don't know if there's a camera, But it looks like you have circulation issues.
This part is tanned. This part isn't. If I hike
Chris,
it up
I don't
a little
know
bit
if
more,
Katie and Isaac's even watching this stream. Right now, we've got well over 100 viewers watching it, and I don't know if it's Katie and Isaac.
Oh, shit. I hope
they are.
I hope that somebody knows Katie and Isaac and are like, we got to get them on this.
Returns.
That is right, Marnie. That is right, brother. Just have that stuff just kind of hanging out.
You scared Tina away. What am I if I can't keep Tina on? Paul?
Tina likes to. I know. Tina likes to pretend. She's still there. She might have gone radio silent, but she's still there. Although it is possible that Frank saw this and got all aroused, and now Tina's gone. But they're doing their thing.
That's true.
Yeah. Wayne, Danny Cole did drop the ball. You are right.
He said he dropped his balls.
No,
but we're going to go in, and they're going to be physical. They're going to be very physical. Their entire team is built around being physical.
Yeah.
Can we match that? And if we do, what will that tell you?
If we match the physicality, I will be very excited about that. Like, this game potentially, like, in all honesty, and I'm not a score predictor person, and I'm not predicting this as a score, but this game could potentially end up being like 12-14. If like it's going to be it should be a rock fight. And I'm here for it. Like, I like that kind of football. Like, I want to see offenses come out and punch a defense in the mouth, and the defense step up and go, okay, here you go. Boom, I'm going to hit you back. And I think potentially that could be what this game is. Again, Rutgers' stats are deceptive because of who they've played. Virginia Tech is the first real team on their schedule. It doesn't matter.
Like, it's still like their PFF scores are good. Everything's good, Paul.
But
like, they may have played cupcakes, but it's still
your
pretty
PFF
good.
Score is going to be good against Howard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it'd be good regardless, Paul, because I'm a cerebral player.
That's true.
I may not win on my matchups, but I'll be in the right place, Paul.
That is true. that is fair. That is fair. Wayne thinks they'll wear us down with their huge offensive line, and that is a possibility. But on the flip side, like, what does our defense or what does our offense do to their defense to get them on their heels?
That's my thing. Is their offensive line worries me. I actually think our defense will step up, and they'll actually, they'll come out and they'll perform, and they'll be okay on that end. If our offense comes to play that day and we can match that, I think we're going to be okay. They're going to play their ball game. They're going to run the clock down, and they're going to play a lot of time of possession. That's going to wear our defense down a little bit, but if they're doing that, they're also not just putting up a ton of numbers. If we take the top off their defense and we can actually like have things like rolling pretty well, not a lot's going to matter there.
Yeah, no, that's
just me.
I agree with you. I agree. I think that is absolutely.
This may be one of those games where it comes down to coaching. And right now there's a few question marks about decisions being made. And we dance around it, but that's really what it comes down to is are we making the right decisions? Game management, everything else. And
Chris,
I like to think we are.
Yeah. Chris, I will tell you right now, there's a 0% chance that Bashal Tootin doesn't play this game. There's a 0% chance. Yeah,
he's playing. If he were actually hurt, he wouldn't play this game. If he were even close to really hurt, I wouldn't play him this game. Honestly, I'd take this as a huge loss and let all our fans just get mad.
Yeah.
That's fine. I would not care because you've got to get him healthy. You don't want to risk a bigger injury.
Because the ACC slate for Virginia Tech, it's not one of those deals where it slowly ramps up. Like, you kind of come every week. You got to come with it. You can't just – you aren't going to be able to just be like, oh, well, we for the first 3 weeks, we play against this team, and this team. We play Georgia Tech, Syracuse, and Boston College, and they aren't any good. That's not how that works. Like,
well,
you
Georgia
got
Tech's
Miami
good this year.
Yeah, I know. You got Miami, Stanford, Boston College right off the bat, and then Georgia Tech. So you're going to have to come with it every single week. And that Stanford game and the Miami game are both on the road. So you've got your hands full.
Miami's going to be tough. And God, I hate it when I have to say those words.
Yeah.
Miami's going to be tough. We'll travel. That, honestly, it feels like less of a trap game because we've already dropped one.
Yeah.
But that would have been a big trap game and exposed quite a few things. If we would have eked this out against Vanderbilt, I would have been more concerned with Stanford. But no, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think there are definitely plenty of winnable games.
I could see us beating Miami, and then beating Stanford, and then turning around and losing Georgia Tech.
Yeah, or Boston College. The Matt Ryan effect.
Yeah, and BC suddenly fucking good. Where the hell did that come from? Where's any of this coming from? This year in college sports has been awesome in so many ways.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because you're starting to see a little bit more parity again, where you're seeing a lot of lower programs swing out and beat all these programs. I'm actually really encouraged to see that in a lot of ways.
Who had Florida State going 0-3?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That is awesome. What were the odds on that? If someone would have bet that happened, what were the odds? They were a top 10 team.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's something. I'm going to try to Google it. Let me see. I'm going to ask Google.
Also, that
what
just
were
goes
the
to
odds
show you,
Florida State went 0-3 this year? Yeah.
You got to ask Google?
I asked Google. It's easier just to talk to text.
Yeah.
There's no there. I don't even think it was something you could bet on.
No, there's no way you could bet on that. It wasn't likely to happen. There's no way that. No. We are actually at a point where I think NIL is taking a lot of lower tier teams to where they can get some of these athletes because they do have funding and bring them up to where they can at least punch above their weight class in a meaningful way, not in a fucking bullshit way, in a meaningful way.
Yeah. I mean, well, you look at Liberty. Liberty's a perfect example. Right now, I realize Liberty has more money than God because they probably have God's money or something like that. But
they definitely don't.
But you look at a Liberty. You look at a Liberty, right? They have essentially unlimited funds. So if they really wanted to, they could go out there and they could probably wrangle themselves in some really decent players out of the transfer portal. I think it's odd because when this originally happened, right, I was like, shit. The Texases, the Texas A&Ms, the Texas Techs, the Floridas, the Florida States, the Alabamas, the LSUs, right? The USCs of the world, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, these programs that have money coming out of their ass are going to just absolutely kill it on the NIL front. But it doesn't seem to be the way it's going. Like you said, Jeremy, some of these lower tier programs are able to get these guys.
Yes.
And they're doing stuff with them. Yeah.
Yes, they are. And then you're seeing big programs lose. You're seeing FSU, who have spent a fortune on their athletes, who have came out and sued their entire fucking conference to get out of it because they're saying no one's pulling their weight. They started suing that, and they went 0-3.
Yeah.
This is a good year in college sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, I will take us being upset early and us maybe not coming out of the gate super fast to have this kind of chaos because we need that chaos because this is the first year in so many years where it feels like we didn't know what was going to happen. You've got Georgia being dominant, but you don't have But
Georgia played shit last week. Georgia almost lost. They won 13-12 or 14-13, something like that.
So we're actually seeing some athletes spread out, and we're actually seeing some of these programs start to swing. And yeah, I think we may be in for it.
I am curious. Did Texas? Yeah, so Texas did jump to number 1. Not saying this as a Michigan fan, but saying this as a Michigan fan. No joke, Texas might be the team this year. Like
yeah, it's weird saying that because they were always like back forever, and then they weren't.
Like
Miami, who kind of looks good again. It's weird.
Yeah. Alabama hasn't shown any sort of a drop off. Tennessee's got a pretty big test this week. Miami jumps up 2 spots. State Penn falls 2 spots. Any other big movers? Michigan dropped a spot because they had to eke out a victory against Alabama State or something. I don't even know who the hell they played. They won.
I love what Tennessee's doing because they are not fucking around.
No.
Also, I tend to like Tennessee just because I like their fans.
Okay.
But they are not fucking around. They came in and they started treating that game like a practice. They scored that much in the first quarter, and then they were just like, why don't we just practice onside kicks for a while?
Yeah.
And you can't get mad at them. It's still the first half. That's when you practice these things.
Yeah. Tennessee travels to number 15 Oklahoma this week. So, in all seriousness,
interesting.
Yeah, if you're just a college football fan, I don't know what time that game kicks off, but yeah, that is going to be a hell of a football game. If you are just if you just are like, I just want to watch college football, there's the game for you.
I agree.
That's for sure.
We kick off 3:30, right?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah, we are in the 3:30 slot. So that's not terrible. I'm going to stay home and watch the game so I don't have to worry about traveling all over the place. And that way Mama and Papa Counts can have their tickets this week. So
Hey, we'll see. We're trying to get them up. Mom had like a dental implant but it was something, and they had to do something with her jaw. So she was out that one. If she's not up, then you are more than welcome to the family tickets.
Well, you just let me know. And also, Bridget has offered, just so Emily knows, Bridget has offered to stay behind and babysit Maddie Ryan Counts so that Emily can go to a game or multiple games if she wants. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Bridget is probably one of the only people Emily will trust with our child.
That's fair.
Me too. Yeah. I love Bridget.
Yeah. She's awesome. She is awesome.
She's great. I like hanging out with her.
Yeah. She likes hanging out with you. The two of you together, they'll pick on me. I feel ganged up on.
Loves hanging out with me. Why wouldn't they?
You are a special boy. That's why.
I am special, Paul.
You are.
Yay.
So. All right, so let's wrap this thing up. We've been on just a little bit over an hour, and I know we're trying to keep it to an hour since we're doing it weekly. By the way, just so everyone knows, it is going to be every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So,
that's going to be our go-to every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. That way we can get it in, and it gives me a little time to get the audio pod kind of edited for everyone that wants to preview the game. And I don't have a lot of meetings on Tuesday, so... Yay.
Emily says she respects Bridget too much to leave her. Bridget's really you got to remember, here's the thing. Bridget co-raised 5 nieces and nephews because her sister is substantially older than her. And so Bridget helped to raise and babysit her 5 nieces and nephews. So I can tell you right now, the stuff she's been through with the likes of Noah, Ethan, and Maggie, Maddie Ryan Counts, simple, easy.
Yes. My angel is an angel, just like I'm a sweet, innocent child, Paul.
Yes. And Emily is a national treasure.
She is a national treasure.
She
I
is
love her
indeed.
Deeply. She is wonderful.
All right. That'll do it. We're done. Goodbye.
All right. Paul,
go
stick
Hokies.
around. Let's let our audio upload. Go Hokies. Thank you for tuning in to Blacksburg on the Rocks.
Woo!
Yeah.